Hi, I'm Dr. David Dobson. Welcome to Conversations. Today, my guest is Dr. Mohsin Abdur Rehman, who has recently completed his PhD at the University of Oulu in Finland. Today, we will discuss his research, which focuses on the customer experience journey within what he calls extended service contexts. Those long term experiences, like studying abroad, where the journey itself can lead to profound personal growth and transformation. Mohsin, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Dr. David, for having me.
Mohsin, first of all, congratulations on your PhD.
Thank you so much. Excited to be here. You.
Mohsin, you mentioned that being the first PhD in your family is an honor you share with everyone who supported you. What does it mean to you personally to reach this educational milestone?
Yes, I think the most important thing was for me to be resilient from the beginning of my educational journey. I was not that good student. Parents were worried, like how I would progress in my life. However, my grandfather believed in me, and then he started to, protect me in a way like Mohsin will study. Do not push him. So that was a starting point for me to work on myself, and I reached to this level, and I am proud of that moment that when I defended my thesis, and I'm happy that my family is also proud to see me in this kind of achievement.
Wonderful. Mohsin, before entering academia, you spent several years with the automotive industry. Moving from the world of automotive industry to which I think is more like applied areas and going into this uh, academic world, academic research. So, was there any cultural shock moving from academic to academic research?
I anticipated some culture shock, of course, or the transition, and I must say that I have been working in Toyota UAE, and that's of course the temperature, as you can see there, it can be very hot. And now I am in Finland. I have been here 4+ years, and like the weather is all very cold. So from one extreme to another extreme. So that was sometimes I call it like my fun fact. So this is how I navigated. But from the perspective of moving to academia after having some experience, it was a little bit long planned.
Mm,
Because in my bachelor's I thought about like I need to be in the academics. However, my mentor guided me that in order to be like a good academic, you need to have some practical exposure. So that's why I went to industry. So I see how things happen in practice. And
mm.
then now I'm teaching to my students, and I can really make some sense of concepts with practical examples. So this is what I was anticipating, and it really broadened my horizon of thinking, and going beyond what is exactly theory. Yeah.
So you worked with Toyota, and I think seeing high volume customer experience and Toyota shaped your PhD research. So you advocate for looking at customer experience as a dynamic, evolving process rather than a single transaction. For those new to the concept, how does a customer experience journey differ from a traditional customer journey?
Yeah. So what happens in customer experience, for example, if you're in the retail, it's very simple that you have the pre-purchase, during purchase, and the post-purchase. Like these are fundamental stages that general marketing, Lemon and Ware of 2016 has portrayed there, more strongly coming from there. However, in services, it's very complex. It can go to many different stages. They are not hardcore. Of course, we can simplify it pre, during, and post. However, there are journeys within the journeys, so they become more kind of complex. And how they are different when it comes to extended service context, which I refer as study abroad exchange is one example, healthcare is another example. So where your experience is prolonged for a longer period of time, and you develop a relationship, you build more kind of awareness about who you are and kind of personal growth perspectives.
Mm,
uh, and there are different tides when you are going through the experiences, and they shape with the passage of time. So that's why I say it the customer experience journey as a dynamic multidimensional concept. It varies, and it will be more complex in the situations where experiences prolong.
right. So your research focuses on services that unfold over like months or long period of time, like study abroad exchanges you mentioned. So why are long-term experiences so much harder to manage than simple retail experience?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I gave you example already, so it will be very easy for me now to navigate through this pre, during, post. So these three stages, if it is in retail, it's eh, of course it is also challenging, but rather like more simplistic form where you can manage experiences these three broader stages. However, in extended service context, you are not really sure like how these experiences are shaping up, because the high level of subjectivity is there, and then experiences having different kind of wavelengths. For example, when you are experiencing something new, your novelty has reached up, and that is called, or I also call in my research, liminality, the
Mm,
in between phase.
mm,
And then you get exposure, you used to the things, you used to the new experiences, and then gradually you are improving your awareness, and your experiences shape accordingly. So that's why it is very challenging and complex for service providers to manage the whole thing.
right. So you use the term liminality to describe the betwixt and between period of the journey. Uh, so how does this period actually fuel a student's personal transformation?
Yeah. So I'll take you back a little bit on liminality
Okay.
perspective. So usually liminality has been used as a concept when you are displaced from your
Mm,
normal routine.
mm,
Like you have been living in one place,
mm,
and you have been displaced because of any crisis. You name it.
mm,
It can be flood, it can be war, it can be anything, holy crisis, whatever you can name it. So, but this displacement, a person coming from Germany to Finland, a person coming from Italy to Finland, with very planned kind of ideas. So somehow they plan their journey. However, there are so many new things which still creates liminality. So they are in between. So
mm,
either they need to follow their current space and
mm,
place and culture, or they need to follow their old selves. So they are struggling between the
mm,
two phases, or even the self also. So if I'm introvert, let's say, so I am in now exchange students network. So how I need to behave, because we are very sensitive beings. So we see like how we are being accepted in a shared group,
mm,
so we might compromise on our way of thinking. So this has become also complex kind of contextual angle where I see liminal customer journey I described in my article too.
Mm. So I'm wondering this liminality stage probably more profound for international student than to the local student because they have to navigate so many changes which comes on their way.
Yes, that's
How
right.
would
Because yeah,
yeah?
sure.
How was your experience in that being yourself an international student?
Yes, of course. This context is very close to me uh, because I am international in Finland. So I have been going through this kind of liminal experiences, and the journey has been this way.
Mm,
There are many new things that I have not, experienced before in my life. So
mm,
just one very like transformational thing happened as I shared with you earlier from the student perspective. But before coming to Finland, I never had coffee. When I came, I was a tea person. Then I came to Finland. I had my first coffee with milk, and today I can have a coffee without milk. So our experiences,
yeah,
transform us one
yeah,
way or the other. So it
yeah.
depends, like how you see
Mm,
yourself
mm,
down the line. So
mm,
I see that international exchange students, I captured their experiences because
mm,
they are one semester here. So I
mm,
was able to track their experiences for one semester, and
yeah,
then I spent like almost 4 years to wrap the story. Yeah.
yeah. Very nice. Thank you, Mohsin. Your work found that journeys often start with disorientation. Was there a specific story from a student that illustrated this point, this stage, disorientation?
Yes, of course. For example, if a person is coming from a very busy city,
Okay.
let's say Berlin,
Mm,
let's say like um, other European cities which are
mm,
really
mm,
busy, Paris, for example. So
mm,
when you arrive here, you see like it's a very slow paced kind of space where you see less people, where you
mm,
see like silence,
mm,
you observe silence,
mm,
and where you see the weather conditions are totally different, where you see the light of the day is very short at times. So you see sun maybe for very shorter period of time, and then even sometimes there are clouds. It's hidden behind the clouds.
mm,
So from that to this space, you are really then feeling this disorientation kind of state where you feel where I was, now where I am, and this disorientation started when you come to a new country, a new place, new culture, and you face like things you have not even imagined.
mm. Yeah. And obviously, you navigated your journey very carefully and you're able to finish your PhD successfully. Uh, what is your advice to you, international students who are kind of starting their journey and they might find this disorientation stage could be a little bit overwhelming?
A very important question, David. Thank you for raising this because it's very important to um, seek the support system. So, sometimes support is out there, but you need to explore it.
Mhm.
You need to explore it. And as human beings, for example, I was sharing with you, I was in plus 50 degrees and they're minus 30 degrees. So we are adaptable. Our bodies are adaptable. So I think we as humans are adaptable. The thing is, we need to understand the environment first and then to be understood.
Mm,
The, the one mistake that we do is that uh, we try to be understood first. So
mm,
that's not how we should be going forward.
mm,
I think we should understand first what exactly the meaning of silence in the place that you're going. For example, you're coming to Finland. If you are giving space, personal space to person, it means you are respecting them. If you're silent, you are fine. There is no problem. You don't have to have answer to every question, you know.
Mm,
So you don't have to fix everything. Things
mm,
will fall into their places. But you need to have some patience, and you need to find right person to talk to. For
mm,
example, you should not be talking about your career to a person who has not built the career, for example. So from international perspective, so if you want to learn language, foreign language, you need to meet persons who have done it already. So you don't meet failures to feel more failure. So you meet success. So you will find people, you will
mm.
find like environment, the support available. But it's also like your own kind of motivation that you can bring into the table.
It's a very good point. Since you're talking about the progress, so you mentioned that the source of happiness for students as they progress into their program, into the journey. Can you walk us through why early happiness stems from social connection, while later it shifts toward academic growth and personal competence?
Yeah. So when you are in new space, for example, for these kind international exchange students, what they are coming for primarily, yes, one of the more objective, like being adventurous, you
Mm,
know. So you are going to a new place, you're trying new experiences, and with whom? It's not about like with walls, no. You need to connect with people. So that social kind of environment, social exchange, cultural exchange was one of the biggest highlight when you are in a new place. Even for example, my two participants came from Germany, and they were coming on the same plane,
mm,
and they were not aware of each other. Okay, how things are going, but then they formed relationship from there itself. So
mm,
it's all about people. When you are starting a new journey, it's all about people and how you shape your social circle.
mm,
And when you are in already, then you started to realize, okay, slowly, slowly, then you see, okay, this is in an international exchange. This is reality, and I am here to study something, gain some knowledge, and then you develop more kind of your appetite to learn more, and then you get kind of happiness from your small achievements throughout your studies.
Interesting. Mohsin, you described the study abroad context as an Finnish experience escape. Uh, so, obviously, I want to learn something about your experience escape. What was the most Finnish thing you observed that shaped the student experience? Perhaps a sauna moment of clarity?
Yeah, that's spot on, by the way. So I think the experience scape is also a relational concept of service scape. So in service scape, we see the environment of service scape, like where you receive a service. So you are going to a barber shop, and that's exactly what is out there is service scape. You go to a restaurant, the environment, ambience, everything is is this a risk-scape. But experience-scape is very complicated and
Mm,
very kind of complex concept where uh, this relates to the overall environment, the broader environment of experiences where experiences are occurring, for example. So you see the cultural, social, physical, all kind of framing that you can think of
mm,
broadly where experiences can happen. So experiences can happen in a classroom, can happen on the road, experiences
mm,
can happen on the mountains,
mm,
forests, on the lake, so it's a wide variety of experience, the places or spaces where experiences are occurring. So that's why there are like uh, so from Finnish perspective, the cultural experience scape is, of course, is the most dominant, and also like the social experience scape. So from the social side, of course, you need to see like what is normal, like what is Finnish normal, and what exactly your normal as from international perspective.
Yeah, very, very interesting experience sharing this. For service providers, whether in education or retailing or healthcare, what is the biggest mistake they make when trying to manage a long-term customer experience?
Yeah, I think there has been like a huge field of study about
Mm,
customer experience journey,
mm,
and customer journey mapping, customer journey design. So uh, they were trying to manage these different stages.
mm,
However, these stages for every context varies.
mm,
So they're not hardcore pre, during, and post. They can start and they can actually um, reoccur with a different sequence. So you might not get actually the same experiences all the time. So it's very hard to standardize an experience. However, from my studies, I'm trying to convey a message that you manage the experience end to end, but being very open and try to build a very broader level experiences with the meanings of what lived experiences gave us from our customers, from the persons who are experiencing, and then attach these into designing different experiences, or like the designing the overall experiences.
mm,
It is possible that not every customer is going through the same kind of emotional balance, or
mm,
the intensity of
mm,
their journey.
mm,
However, they might face similar kind of experiences, and they might able to relate it with themselves. It's very complex. So that's the point I wanted to make. Like you need to understand the lived experiences meanings out of it, and then try to incorporate when you are designing your experiences for your customers, for example.
Great. Mohsin, you suggest institutions should design support for each stage. So, what does emotional support look like at the disorientation stage versus a reorientation stage at the end of a journey?
Yeah. So seems like very simple,
Yeah.
providing support at every stage, but
Mm,
the level of support and the type of support really different. So, for example,
mm,
you when you are providing support in disorientation, I mean here that you don't have to bombard the information for newcomers that this is what you need to do, this is what you need to, you know, take care of. But one thing which I wanted to highlight from Finnish perspective, whenever international exchange students arrive in Finland, there is one volunteer person from
mm,
Finland who receive new students, and then spend some initial time with them so that they navigate.
mm,
So I wanted to highlight like this should be sustained even with
mm,
more rewards to the volunteers who are here doing this kind of work. And even this kind of things can be replicated, or even like implications for other part of the world. So whenever newcomers are coming, there should be one or two persons who are responsible or taking that kind of volunteer role to support newcomers.
mm. For sure, because just to navigate how system work, it's itself is a huge learning curve. So I think that's a wonderful thing they do there.
Yeah. And in the end, there is a different kind of support, what you can do, you can have the more kind of workshop, more kind of training
Mm,
for students, so that whatever they have learned, how they can fit their future plans
mm,
based on the experience they got. So
mm,
I think this kind of thing can really uplift their personal growth even after
mm.
completion of their exchange.
Yeah. So obviously, in business and marketing, so we need to do a measurement, right? Like, so if traditional metrics like customer satisfaction aren't enough, how should organization measure the well-being or transformation of their customers?
It's very interesting question, and I have a different opinion on this based on the more traditional, accepted. Uh, I always wonder, like, how can we measure an experience? Of course, you can put some scales on it,
Yeah.
and then this is. I'm strongly agree on these kind of statements. Of course, they're one way, but what I'm trying to refer here, you are touching the intentionality, consciousness of experiencer. So who experience the lived experience. So this is where I have applied the phenomenology as my methodological angle and philosophy as well. So interpretative phenomenological analysis basically guides that how individuals make sense of their experiences. So they use like their intentions, the conscious, like what exactly they experience, what exactly their experience means to them. I mean, if we understand that, we really, label these kind of meanings into the marketing communication, into the all the material that we are, looking for marketing purposes. Uh, but maybe it will be a prolonged discussion, but this this scale thing, I really object sometimes. Like, how can we really measure an experience?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. um, uh, Mohsin, for your PhD, to understand customer experience journey, you look through the lenses of sociology, psychology, marketing, and many other areas. Why is an interdisciplinary approach now a necessity for marketing and service design scholars entering the field today?
Yeah, this is again a very, very interesting question, and thank you for raising this, because we are moving into a very interesting era uh, where nothing can happen in isolation. So we need to take help. Of course, we have been taking help from different disciplines. Uh, uh, Many disciplines are really overlapping in one way or the other. So sometimes the knowledge being co-created with interdisciplinary collaboration. And to be honest, like even the terminologies sometimes mean different to different disciplines. So the when I talk about happiness in psychology, it's different. When
Mm.
I call happiness in marketing for consumer happiness or customer happiness, it's altogether different.
Yeah.
When I see the lived experience in psychology is different, and how I see now connects this customer experience as lived experience, then I need to understand from a psychological perspective, like, okay, what exactly uh, individuals make sense of their lived experience, and there I brought from that perspective. When
Mm,
you see about the customer journey, this another concept
mm,
of in marketing, and then we see also like every journey is different, and it depends within the context of context. For example, study abroad exchange can be seen as also an educational tourism context. So it has different implications there. I looked into it in my one paper. like it's Article 3 of my dissertation. So it is published in International Journal of Tourism Research. So I contributed to that discussion as well.
Mhm.
So I mean here, I looked into study abroad exchange as an extended service context. However, I also consider it as educational travel context because when you are in a new country, of course, you wanted to explore not only at national level, but also like neighboring countries. So my participant have been traveling, across the region, Nordic countries, Scandinavia. So it really reminds me like how it is multifaceted kind of and how it is complex kind of context that I am dealing with. So it depends like how I see, and then I can position it according to that.
Wonderful advice. Mohsin, you have shown us how journey lead to transformation. Now that you have completed your doctoral journey and reached this incredible milestone, what is next for you?
Yeah, I think the being customer journey researcher, talking about journey itself is very very fascinating and very encouraging for me. uh, I really like the idea of enjoying the journey, the process itself, and I want to be in the process itself. Of course, I have defended my thesis. Now, this chapter is closed, but it's a new beginning. It's just a one stop to fill the fuel and make another journey within the journey. So, from that perspective, I'm in the process of developing myself as a researcher who understand like how experiences evolve over time in different contexts. Of course, from this research perspective. However, I am keen to learn how to teach, and I'm also teaching. So I am between these research and teaching, and also I'm providing service to community in terms of conference track chair, in terms of ad hoc reviewers for different journals, in terms of university level administrative stuff. So I am looking forward to collaborate more with the industry, to connect our students to industry so that they also make some sense of like how things work in practice and what exactly they need to do when they are navigating their journey after their studies. So I'm trying to facilitate as much as I can, and I'm looking forward that I will be able to learn people around me, and they are really kind and supportive people that I could ever interact.
Wonderful. Mohsin, thank you so much for sharing your research and your story with us today. We wish you the very best in the next chapter of your journey. It has been an absolute pleasure having you here.
Thank you, Dr. David. Thank you for having me. It was nice and it was really meaningful conversation with you.